Good evening YouTube. In today's video I'm going to show you how to change the plastic hubs and carriers and C-hub at the rear to metal ones from the plastic standard ones. This is the Project 100 mile an hour build. It's quite a simple, straightforward thing to do. Some people out there won't know how to do it, and this video is just trying to clarify for some people how to do it. So let's begin. We've done this side off camera because I don't think you need to see two sets of each. So first things we do is remove the wheels. So pop that over there. The plastic hex has come out and stayed in the wheel, but it's not an issue because we're not using these anyway. But put that over there, stick them there. I'll then remove the rear wheel. I need to get myself a car stand and stop using masking tape because it really isn't good. It's falling all over the place. Remove the hex hubs. Be careful not to lose the pins, as they're very small and dainty. Right, so carefully with a pair of pliers, remove steering arms and tie rods, and the hub will fall forwards, allowing you to remove the dog bone drive shaft. Now, at the front and the rear, I have a retaining screw for the pin. So if we remove that and get a sharp object, there is a pin in here. You'll be able to see it. There is a small access hole at the back which I use to put my little pin through and pop it out. Now, just move that to one side. We have to take off these ball pin joints so we can pop them on our new all metal hubs, which I have got on my other build, and they've seemed to last quite well. I've never had an issue with them. They're very, very well made. So we need to refit the ball pin holders. Now, I have some Loctite to put on these at some point, but I won't be doing it today, clearly because this is a project and I'm not sure everything will be correct first time. So take our pin, and there's a hole that goes through. Need to line it up as best as we can. I'm no good at this. Just getting it in halfway first time, and then because I've got soft hands like a girl, and then push it through with something so I don't hurt my fingers. You'll know it's in the right place because you'll feel it pop, and then hopefully it goes in. Make sure it's pushed all the way in. Take your retaining screw and refit the retaining screw into the hole to stop the pin falling out, which they do. If this screw isn't in, they fall out and they're a bugger to find. Now, we take the dog bone. I'm using a 1mm thick 8mm by 4mm washer to take up some of the slack that is left with these drive shafts because they're quite sloppy. It's just a little mod I've learned. It just keeps it a bit tighter, stops it wobbling as much. Now pop the dog bone drive shaft back in and refit steering and tie rods like so. Now these tie rods. If you bear with me, I think I may have one in my box somewhere. There we go. In the all metal kit that I bought, which is where I got the hooks from, it came with this style, which is a spanner in the middle and opens up, but I do not like these fittings because you have to use a nut and bolt and they get in the way. Now these tie rods, if you want to make them longer, you turn it out. If you want to make it shorter, you turn them in. Which, if you wind them out, it pushes the wheel out. If you wind them in, it brings them in, adjusting your camber. Now, I'm not going to set them up yet because, as I stated, this is my project build and I'm not ready to set any of that up yet. So, I'm changing the 12mm hexes to the metal upgraded ones, which are a lot better because they don't melt, as I've seen other YouTubers discussing when it's melted and stuck to the wheel. Now, refit the wheel, take your nut. I will be Loctiting these in at some point, not right now because these are going to be coming on and off multiple times. Try not to over tighten the nut because you'll break the little metal pin and they're very easily broke. So onto the rear, remove the holder, pop the dog bone out, remove the retaining screw. Sorry if the camera angle's not very good, I need to invest in a tripod. I haven't got one at the moment. It is on my to-do list. So now that one's removed, remove the drive shaft, and that's the metal one. You can clearly see the difference in thickness and build quality. Hopefully these will last longer and add a little bit of weight for the project 100 mile an hour. So we remove the ball pin again, put that to one side and refit it, noting which hole they came from. These came from the furthest away from the car, so closest to the wheel. Nip them up. I will be popping Loctite on at the end of the build when I know everything is correct and working. We then pop the pin back in, which I've never got one in that quick. We then replace the retaining screw back into the suspension arm, take your drive shaft, drop it in, pop the dog bone in and line it up, and it goes. Pop the tie rod on, steering rod, whichever one you want to call it, pin back in, new metal hub on, foam on, and for some reason in my pack I only had 3 black wheel nuts that were the same size. I had 4 nuts but only 3 were the correct size. Slightly too tight, as you can see, so a little back off. It's still a little bit tight, so back off, and there we go. So that is how we fit them. Front and rear, very nice. Hope you've enjoyed the video and it's can help somebody along the way. Any Any questions, pop them in the comment box. And that's it for this video. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe and hit the bell button. Have a pleasant day.